hopefully you decide to get all of them and follow along with her track, because I think you'll either be able to identify some things that are going on in your life right now in your up and down motions throughout your life now, or go back and recall some of the things that you haven't thought of for a while in your up and down journeys through the longer stretch of your life. Thank you one more time, Jana, and good luck. So people talk about symbolism in writing, symbolism all that. All right, thank you very much, Jada Hollingsworth. And ladies and gentlemen, one more time for the new author and her book. Brings you from there to now in a way that's another expression that you use. I was overhearing that when you're in college, you used to put a symbol on your face, and the symbol would change. Sometimes depending on how you felt that day was going or what you felt. Can you give us a couple of examples of what you would use, and then also show us the one you have today and relate it to it?
Cool, okay. So in college, which I'm pretty sure y'all have seen this before, like I used to post a lot of pictures on Facebook, but like every day I would put, is it on this side?
It's on my side.
Okay. I would put like a little symbol and outline right underneath my eye like a mole, and that would be like how I felt when I woke up, and that would be how I based my outfit and like how I went about my day. So however I woke up would determine what I ended up putting. So I have this little black heart. And that's because I am the Queen of Hearts today at my Alice in Wonderland party. And I felt like that was significant because obviously all of my books are about love. And like I start off real low, but by the end of the book, baby, I'm the queen. So, yeah. Thank you. So, yeah, like some days, like if I had a heart, it was a good day. Like if I was having like a bad day, I would do like a little skull or like a crossbone, which would be like a bone, and then a dagger, which I got sleeves on, but I used to do that so much that I literally have that tattoo on my shoulder. I used to draw it every day up here, and then I had my roommate sophomore year draw it, and I got it tattooed on my arm. But yeah, so like that's over. I did that for the vibes. But now I just, like if I wake up and I'm not feeling the day, I wear blue. And then if I feel good, I wear anything else. So if y'all see me in a blue dress, I'm okay. But
we're up to question 7, then I'm going to throw you another one. You'll do a next question.
okay.
What message or feeling you hope the readers take away from Monophobia?
I guess just that ultimately that you're not alone. So like obviously like the intense fear of being alone, like I felt that and like I expressed it in not healthy ways, but I wasn't by myself. Like I had a lot of friends in college. Like I had community, I was in a lot of different groups. So it's just like getting outside of yourself to see that you're not alone, and that like what you're feeling is not, like you're not the only person that feels that stuff. Like I'm not the only person that's ever been depressed, that's had anxiety, that has self-harm. Like that stuff has happened. So I hope that when y'all read it, y'all can relate and like see yourself in my character. I know that you might not, well, hopefully, if you've been blessed, if you lived a blessed life, then you won't have to relate to a lot of what I say in that book because it's deep. But just that, like, when you feel like in the depths of your spirit that like something isn't right, like that's not a solitary feeling. Like you're not the only person who feels that way. And like there is hope, because I don't write in that book that I got better, but I did get better. And I didn't get better after I graduated. Like I got better in college. So college got better. Like this book is freshman year and sophomore year. So junior year and senior year, and then the other senior year, it was fine. So it gets better, I promise. It gets better.
Okay. How do you think your writing, just the writing itself, has evolved from the first book through to the third one, Monophobia?
I feel like in Limerence, it was very like surface level. Like I was having crushes and stuff, but like nothing ever really got deep. And like Monophobia is the first time that I ever like wrote and like felt deeply what I was feeling. And it was like therapy. So like when I let people read the first two books, like it was embarrassing because it was like, oh my God, like now they see how ridiculous I was. But like with this one, it's different because people are gonna read it and they're gonna be like, wow, I know who Jada is. And that is deeply uncomfortable. But like you'll definitely see how my writing evolved. Like I play with words different. Like my rhyme schemes are different. Like some of the books in there are songs. Like in Limerence and Infatuation, like I think well, in Limerence, like the poems are all like 1 page, and Infatuation I think they're like a couple 2 pages. But in Monophobia, like some of them are 3 pages. Like I don't think there's any 4, but they're long. And then like some of them have like choruses, and like some of like the stanzas aren't even like you can tell that like there's not a whole bunch of like rhyme and reason or like intentionality. It's just like feeling, like you just doing what you feel, you're just writing what you feel, you're just saying how you feel. So it definitely evolved, and you'll see like the writing continues to evolve as the series goes on. But like this one was when I was in school actually studying writing, so I feel like you can see that through the poems.
Or is it still a theme that comes and goes?
Yes. So every book is still me like very much lovesick, but like in Cheerophobia, like I am finally in love, which is the 4th book in the series. So it's interesting that the 4th book is the one where the title makes sense. But like the 5th and 6th book, like the 5th book is me like falling in love with like myself and then falling in love with being a parent, because that one is like after an abusive relationship and then after postpartum and having a child. And then the last book is like dating again, and then like the series ends with me finally being in love with me. So like it's love sick throughout, but in the end like it's love sickness because like I love and I appreciate myself so much.
Sorry to throw you that curveball, but I think it enhances.
Like obviously I'm single, so that relationship does not go. But like you can see, like I named Cheerophobia because like I finally have everything that I wanted, but because of how bad stuff was, I don't know how to approach it. I don't know how to handle it. Like, and I feel like I handled it pretty well. Like that book is my favorite book out of the series. But like it's a very interesting concept.
Okay. This contrast between monophobia and cheerophobia, because yes, all of us can say we're afraid of bad times, unhappiness, sadness. We want to avoid those things. But a lot of us do. At the same time, even deal with being afraid to get to a certain point, to succeed to a certain point, and to be fully happy. We all say, I want to be happy, but sometimes we don't have the vision of it. When we approach real happy, we don't. That can show up in careers and love lives, all kinds of places. The moment you wrote that poem, lacking out was not so much going outside of yourself, but going so inside of yourself. And I would say that's probably the poem that triggers the moment that other people probably need to see, to be able to do the same thing, to dig so deep that they lose themselves in themselves.
Yep.
All right, interesting set of thoughts behind how that's the trigger, the key moment poem. How does Monophobia fit into the larger series, the Lovesick series that you have going on? And from there, what is next for Jada?
So Monophobia is like the turning point. So Monophobia, the book, like it delves very deeply into what I was feeling, but unlike the other books, the ending isn't happy. Like Limerence, like I get into like first crushes and like sadness and like small heartbreak, like disappointment, but in the end, like I'm okay by myself. And then like Infatuation, same thing, like I get into like cheating and like early relationships, and but like in the end, like I'm fine. In Monophobia, like it hits you immediately with when I went to college, something very traumatic happened. You'll read it in the book, But I think even though I was already having like dark feelings, but that event was like a catalyst. Like everything after that was bad. And in this book, like it hits you with that event just like it hit me. And then it takes you through that whirlwind of emotions. And then at the end, like I come to terms with the loneliness, but I'm not healed. Like I'm not happy. I just finally understand what my problem is. So in the next book, it kind of skips chapters because the next book is Cheerophobia, the fear of being happy. And I feel like Monophobia is like a good turning point because before then, I'm not in love. Like, it's just like me exploring. And then in Cheerophobia, I'm most definitely in love. Like, I am healed, I'm happy. Like, it's my first positive relationship. And you see a completely different Jada than you do in Monophobia. But you won't understand why I appreciate Cheerophobia so much if you don't see what I went through in Monophobia. But it, like that poem, like it's set it off. It's set it off.
Fourthly, can you share a favorite passage or scene or part from Monophobia and why that particular part is significant to you?
Okay, so I wrote this part down. My favorite poem from this book is called As I Sit Here to Write. I wrote that poem at my little sister's house. I was sitting on her computer and I just had so many feelings. And like I remember typing as I sit here to write things that fly through my head. I can't pick just one, so many I'll say instead. And that's the only thing I remember. Like I remember my mama calling saying she was outside. I remember getting up from the computer. I remember hugging my sister back. I remember leaving. But I don't remember anything after that first thing. And my sister called me the next day, and she was like, "Oh my God, Jada, this poem is beautiful." And I was like, "What poem?" And she like read the poem to me, and it was beautiful. Like it's still my favorite poem in the book. But like if I didn't remember writing that first stanza, she could have told me that was her poem. Like she could have told me that was anybody's work, and I would have been like, "Wow, that's really good." And I feel like that poem kind of opened the floodgates for me because I was writing a lot before then, but like I feel like it was still kind of surface level. Even though I was like getting into like the sadness that I was feeling, like that poem ends up being one of the lightest poems in the book. But that was the first time that I really dug into what I was feeling. And then after that, like I just couldn't help it. Like I was just writing every day. And it was literally like after you see that poem in the book, everything after that, I do not remember writing. Like we were going through my journal. I don't remember none of it. But like that poem was the start of that. Like I felt so deeply what I was putting on paper that I just blanked out. And then when I would finish writing, and I would read what I wrote, it was like I was reading it for the first time. Like I knew that what I was feeling, but me seeing it in words was like something completely different. So I appreciate that poem not only because it's beautiful, but because like it really opened up to me getting into the depths of what I was feeling. And then that was like therapy. Like after that, after I started reading it out, like it's deep, like it's a lot of deep triggers.
When someone picks up the book and reads it, what are some key themes in Monophobia that readers should look out for?
Well, love, obviously, because that's the theme of every book. But just like loneliness. And then like my other books, like this, I feel like the other books there was like a slow incline. This one hits the peak. So like after this, I don't want to say it goes down, but like this is like right where I hit depression and anxiety and like self-harm and like bad choices and like you're gonna, I don't want to say it's triggering, but you're gonna see a side of Jada that you did not see in the other two books. And if you know me personally, it's gonna be a side that you might remember or a side that you have never seen. So yeah, love, sadness, depression, anxiety, confusion, like loss of self. I feel like those are like the main things.
up with the title Monophobia, and what does that mean just to you?
So monophobia is the intense fear of being alone, and I had to face that like out front when I went to college because none of my friends were at school with me, my family was gone, and I feel like when I was younger, I attached like my identity to like the people that I was around. Like at school, like everybody knew me as like Khadijah's sister or like Anne's daughter. Or like when I was a cheerleader, it was like, oh, she a cheerleader. Like I had an attachment. And when I went to college, there was no attachment. So like as many people that were like, man, like Jada is so like loud and bright and like confident who she is, I was not. Like I didn't know what I was doing. So like I ended up choosing the title Monophobia when I was reviewing like this journal that I had wrote all these poems in, because like outside looking in, I could see that like every poem that I wrote in this book was just somebody that was like crying for somebody to care about them, for somebody to be like closely attached to. And like that has to have just been because I was scared of being alone. Like I was alone and I was just begging for help. So that title, I don't know how I like learned what that title was, but once I finished reading through the poems that I wanted to put in the book, I was like, this is perfect, this fits perfect.
And ask you, what inspired you to write Monophobia, Confessions of a Lovesick College Girl, which is the most recent one?
Like Limerence and Infatuation, I was writing a lot. I had a lot to say. And in college, particularly, like I was living on campus, like none of my friends would move and stay with me. So all I really had to do was like sit and write. So I would sit and write while I was waiting on my professors to come in class. I would sit and write in the caf, I would sit and write in the student center, I would sit and write in the quad. And like that's just what I did. Like I was talking to people, but most of the friends I made was people that was like, girl, what are you doing? Because I was sitting right. So Monophobia is from the journal that I kept in college that I was writing on my thoughts. And since my favorite way of expression was poetry, most of my journal entries were, of course, poems.
Okay. Thanks. Nice.
Pink.
So the next one I want to do is, and I think I know the answer because it lends itself to getting us here. What was your favorite subject in high school and college?
English.
English. I want a little why with that one.
Because I like writing. I don't talk a lot like through my mouth, but I got a whole bunch to say. And like math is rules and stuff, and like history you gotta remember stuff. Like English, I can just say what I want to say, and I like that. They give you stuff to read about. You can have an opinion, and I like having an opinion. I got something.
All right. Then all right. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. We are here today to interview this fine author, Jada Hollingsworth, on the release of her third book, Monophobia, Confessions of a Lovesick College Girl. As many of you know, the first two books were based on her experiences and love life in middle school and then in high school. And so now we're up to the college age in what is going to be a 6-book series chronicling her adventures in finding love and forging her way into life at each of these significant stages in her life. She's asked me to do an interview as her publisher. I'm James Wilson of Wider Perspectives Publishing, and I present to you Jada Hollingsworth. And she's asked me to keep it easy on her, don't don't do things too hard. So I'm going to throw a couple of softballs out there to warm up. First one would be,